All right, welcome back to another episode of Ham Radio on the Go. And in today's video, we're definitely out on the go. We're in Long Beach, California, Whiskey 6 land, and we're going to try and board the Queen Mary World War II vintage cruise liner and see if we can get on board and check out the radio array of antennas and radio room. Join us. As you can see, the Queen Mary is in permanent dock here in Long Beach Harbor, Long Beach, California. And we're going to do a slow approach up to this vintage cruise liner that has now become a permanent hotel in the Long Beach Harbor. And there is a radio room aboard and some nice antenna arrays on the top deck for amateur radio. The original radio room is now run by a local club. We'll get into all of that, put some graphics up on the screen. We're going to see if we're going to enter the ship, if we're lucky, and check out the radio room. And if we're really lucky, if the radio room is open, we'll see if we can get inside and check it out. So let's make a slow approach to the cruise liner hotel. Okay, as we approach the Queen Mary, you can see the rocks that surround the ship. I'm no expert on the history of the Queen Mary. I suspect it's on dry land. It's just made to appear that it's on water, but if you know, definitely comment below, because it's definitely interesting architecture that surrounds the Queen Mary. But let's continue our approach. And to add to the mystery of the Queen Mary, there's also a submarine in dock right next to her. I'm going to see if we can get a better look at that as well. But the amateur association that runs the radio room is Whiskey 6 Romeo Oscar, the Association of Amateur Radio of Long Beach. Put some images up on the screen as I go along. But what a fantastic sight. Queen Mary's in spectacular shape. The submarine shows vintage patina. But let's see if we can gather more information on that. But what a spectacular sight. And to boot, to have an amateur radio room aboard is a fantastic way to celebrate its history. Okay, the story just gets better and better. This is a Soviet-era Russian Scorpion submarine parked next to the Queen Mary. There's the top deck. Don't see any antenna arrays yet, any antenna up on the top deck, but let's continue our approach. Let me check to see if I have any messages. Yeah, I have a question for either of you gentlemen. If do you know, how do you contact somebody to get a tour of the radio room above the on board the Queen Mary? Over.
I'm guessing you have to talk to somebody at Long Beach there, K6GLA.
Hey, K6GLA, thanks for picking up my call. Whiskey India 2 Mike, I'm located at the Queen Mary, over.
Yeah, copy that, and heard your recent QSO there. The radio room at the Queen Mary is primarily operated by the Long Beach Radio Club. They call themselves the Associated Radio Amateurs of Long Beach, and I think they're the primary users of that station on the ship. So if you check out their website, it's aralb.org, They do have information about the W6RO station, and I'm sure you'd be able to find a few other things on their website about contacting some members of the club. And kind of looking at that at my computer here, there's probably also some information on when they have their nets as well. That way you could, it's probably one of the easiest way to get a hold of some members is wait until... Repeater, time out.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that you're having problems with the batteries. Yeah, I heard it on last week's net there, so I won't take up too much more of the repeater's time and energy. All right, Whiskey India 2 Mike, I'll be listening. And 7-3, thanks everyone for the great comeback and the great information there. I'll see what I can explore here, and it sure is a lot of fun. What a great venue here at the Queen Mary.
From the end of my street. And if you're going to be around a few more days, we can make that happen. K6CMT.
Okay, yeah, no problem. As there's a helicopter flying overhead. Yeah, no problem. It is what it is. I've been here a couple of times. It's just it's not the luck of the draw. I'll keep trying. I appreciate the information. Won't take up more of the repeater's time. Sorry to hear that it's having problems with the batteries there on Catalina Island. I heard it on last week's net there. But I'm here now. I'll take a snoop around, and I'm shooting some great video, and I'll upload it there so everyone can see the Queen Mary in all its glory there. All right, 7-3, I'll be listening. WI2M. Thanks for the information, guys. Great comeback.
All right, Joe, real good. Like I said, be happy to show you around. And yeah, we got to switch from AAA to AA batteries for the repeater. So we got to go over to Costco and pick those up. So that'll happen soon. Anyway, have a fun time up there. It ended up being a nice day. Enjoy yourself for the rest of your trip. K6CMT, I'm clear. 7-3.
Okay, 7-3. Nice to hear you on the RF side for a change instead of Echolink. 7-3, guys. WI2M. I'll be clear. Okay, let's see if we can go inside and see what we can find. All right, this is a great view of what would have been the boarding area. Triple boarding capacity. And there's the welcome aboard. Nice span bridge. Amazing condition. Okay.
It's about 1. I think it's 6 o'clock for the history tours, but only one of the Spanish classes. Thank you. You're welcome.
They're going to reimburse me.
Yeah, they're going to reimburse me. So you want to take day, night.
Okay, beautiful evening here in Long Beach, California, Long Beach Harbor. Hats off to those volunteers at W6RO. You heard them. Unfortunately, they manned the radio room up until 5 o'clock, and it's evening time here in Long Beach Harbor, so I wasn't able to get in on this particular occasion. I have done the general tour in the past, and I have pictures up on my QRZ site of my trip, the general tour. And on that occasion as well, the radio room was closed. It's run by volunteers, so definitely go on QRZ, W6RO, and follow the instructions. I got onto the local repeater, 145-210, and unfortunately they had gone home for the day. Nice shot of the Queen Mary, Liverpool. A man and his Quan Shang calling CQ from Long Beach Harbor, Whiskey 6, California. Definitely out on the go. Currently on 10 meters, double sideband. Let's see what we can find. Permanently docked. You can see the artificial enclosure. Here's another shot of the Queen Mary, right up against the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, ready to take on passengers for her next voyage to nowhere. There's the antenna array for Whiskey 6 Romeo Oscar. Okay, it's time to work some 2 meter sideband. We're in Delta Mike 03. We're on 144.200 double sideband with the Quan Chang. Trying to see if we can get some contacts right by the Queen Mary. Let's see if there's anybody on the 2 meter SSB call frequency in celebration of the Queen Mary. CQ 2 meters. This is Whiskey India 2 Mike, WI2M calling CQ from Delta Mike 03. QRZ, any stations, anywhere, QRP portable. Let's see if we get any 2 meter SSB contacts. We're in Delta Mike 03. Let's see if there's anybody out there. CQ 2 meters. This is Whiskey India 2 Mike, WI2M calling CQ from Delta Mike 03. QRZ, any stations, anywhere. But once again, hats off to those volunteers for keeping the radio room going, staffing it, and giving hams across the world an opportunity not only to hear W6RO, the voice of the Queen Mary on the amateur radio bands, but also an opportunity to take a tour of the actual radio room that was part of the Queen Mary during World War II, before and after. But now it's permanently an amateur radio station. So hats off to them. This was a great venue here, very nostalgic, and especially with this World War II vintage Soviet era submarine. Comment below, like and subscribe for future videos of Ham Radio on the Go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the description for additional content and updates on today's video. 7-3, everyone, from Long Beach, California.